What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Stephen Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, guys, today's topic. Let's talk about the 12th pick, guys. I want to stay to defense, okay? I'm going to give you an expansive board. I'm going to give you 10 players on the defensive side that I think the Eagles should be considering here. I don't think it's any secret, guys, that we need help all three levels of the defense. Defensive line, linebacker, secondary. We need help all across. I mean, just to put it simply put, guys, we need help at every freaking position along the defense. Let's just be honest here. We can use youth almost everywhere. Maybe linebackers in a place where we are kind of young. It's just not very good talent yet in that room. So let me start off with the secondary and players I think that should be in consideration. Obviously, guys, because I'm giving you 10, there's not 10 players that are probably worthy of the 12th pick. So some of them are going to be guys that would probably be a bit of a reach, to be quite honest. All right, the first guy I got on this list is J.C. Horn. I don't know if he's going to go in the top 10, guys, but I know that he would definitely be on my board if I was the Philadelphia Eagles. I know this is not universal. I saw some of y'all's comments, even if I didn't respond. I know some of you guys are not as high on J.C. Horn because you feel that the way that he gets handsy on receivers is indicative of a guy that doesn't have great technique, and that handsiness sometimes leads into grabbing, which results in penalties. I get it, guys. I still think that the kid's an ultimate competitor. I love the kid's fight on the field, and I think that he's just going to be a good person to add into your secondary. Number 2 guy, Patrick Surtain II. Patrick Surtain has taken criticism for the fact that although he only got beat twice on passes of 20 yards, both of them went for touchdowns, which ended up causing him to, even though he only gave up 2 completions on like 14 attempts over 20 yards, like the passer rating was like an 80-something, guys. Like, he didn't do well. He just did not do well in terms of playing the more dynamic players, so I get that being a concern. But I will say that we will play a lot of too high safety, so I think that allows Patrick Surtain to be pretty aggressive underneath, and I think he would be a good fit. He's got the good size profile for Gannon's scheme. He likes those 6'1", 6'2" corners with good length, good reach. So, I mean, I like Surtain. I think Surtain makes some sense here, guys. My favorite corner, if I'm just judging film, I told you guys, was Caleb Farley.
On the route. Komet in the flat. He doesn't have it, but he's getting pressure, so he wheels the throw.
The issue with Caleb Farley, and the reason that he's back down on my list, is because his medicals, guys. Caleb Farley had a non-contact ACL injury a couple of years ago, and now he's having a procedure done with his back. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, guys. I've heard that it's a minor surgery, but I've also heard people like Schlereth and other people talk about back surgeries, and they're pretty adamant that there is no such thing as a minor back surgery. And I don't know what to think about Caleb Farley. There's going to be some medical hurdles that have to be cleared for a Caleb Farley, and we know this organization's issues with keeping players healthy. So, I mean, at some point it's got to change. I guess that's the only thing I can say is that you can't. I mean, come on, man. At some point we got to catch a good look here, but Caleb Farley, guys, I mean, he's definitely, if I'm just judging it by the film, guys, he's in consideration for me. All right, I want to talk about one outside player that's, I don't think that the possibilities are that high that we would draft him, just because I don't know that we value safety high enough to do this. But I'm going to give you a guy, my 4th player, if you will. Travon Morg. Travon Morg. I love this kid's film. I love what this kid can do.
Just bubbling it out. Winston Wright. Travon Merritt. One of the...
I think he's, look, you know, if you ask me, like, I mean, Gate, how many safeties are they going to bring in this year? And, like, what do you really want to do with a guy like this? Like, you know, he's much better as a coverage grade than a run defense grade kind of guy. He's not really high on that. I don't know, man. I mean, I will say that he's played a little bit in the box. He's played more in the box than he has as free. I think this is a guy that you could technically probably line up on the strong side and be your strong safety. I definitely think that he's got the skill set to carry tight ends and carry slot receivers and stuff like that down the field. I think he can stick with the more athletic guys. I think he's pretty good. He breaks up to a lot of passes. He's 6'2", 200-pounder. Like, I think, you know, Travon Morg makes a lot of sense to me. Travon Morg makes a ton of sense to me. He's my 4th guy on my list, guys. Yell at me if you want to. I get it. All right. I'll give you my 5th guy. And this is not in any particular order. I'm just naming the guys. They're not like, this is number 5. Like, it's the 5th person I'm naming. Makai Parsons. Makai Parsons has some off-the-field issues, guys. I know. I'm not going to speak on him because I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to speak on something I don't know about. I have no clue about the off-the-field stuff. I'm not a Penn State guy. I'll leave that to the front office and them doing their due diligence to check into a guy. That's how you have to treat those things. What I can talk to is his play on the field. And I'll link the video if you haven't watched my video on Makai Parsons yet, but Makai Parsons is a very impactful football player. He's good in the run defense. He can definitely blitz, and I thought that he's played a lot of zone. He hasn't done a lot of man assignments in terms of coverage because Penn State doesn't run that too much. But in those zone concepts, when I watched him drop back, he got good depth in his drops. I like Micah Parsons a lot, guys, especially if he's there at 12. I love that value. Now, if I listen to Dallas fans, apparently they're taking Kyle Pitts, Micah Parsons, and apparently they're taking J.C. Horn. So they're going to be really busy this draft. So, who knows? Past Micah Parsons, the sixth guy I'll put on this board is J.O.K. Koromoa. Koromoa is another one that's not perfect, guys. They're not going to be perfect. Koromoa is undersized. He's not really a true linebacker. He's more of the hybrid roving role, what they call the rovers. These are safety linebacker hybrids, okay? What I will say about Koromoa is that the dude is crazy athletic.
So Leo Billingsley goes in motion. He's a tight end, but they play him all over. Terrific athlete. They even have him return Dickerson.
He can get swallowed on blocks. He can. He's not the biggest guy. If they can get a hold of him, they're going to eat him up. But what I will say is that he's so fast, he's so quick at a reaction that a lot of times he just beats the offensive lineman to the hole. He just beats the pause. You get what I mean? He just has that skill set, guys. I mean, and to be honest with you, Darius Leonard was not the biggest guy his rookie season with the Colts either. He had to grow into the role. So, I mean, JOK does make some sense. I understand he's a little undersized, guys. I get it. I know that it's going to take a particular coach to use him correctly. This is not a guy that you can just plug and play to every system. It takes a certain type of system. I like him. I mean, personally, I think he's a good football player. I would be a lot higher on him than other people are currently. I will give you my seventh guy, which happens to be Nick Bolton, another one of these linebackers. I know that it's definitely early at 12 for Nick Bolton. He'd still be on my list. I'd still be considering. I'd still be watching film. I'd still be interviewing this kid. I'd still work him out. Nick Bolton is a good football player. He's probably more of a downhill player than an all-around linebacker, but to be honest with you, I still like Nick Bolton's film a lot. I think Nick Bolton is going to be good in the league. I would take my shots there. I would not back off of Nick Bolton personally. All right, moving on to the defensive line. My eighth prospect. All right, look, my eighth prospect is going to be Kwity Paye, who I'm going to bring up. Kwity Paye is a crazy athletic guy. This dude ran a 6.5 3-cone, 6.5 second 3-cone.
No. Bruce Feldman listed you as the #1 freak on his kind of annual freaks list, and I'm sure because you reportedly can run a 6.37 3-cone and a 4.57 40-yard dash.
You just go full tilt, like once you're confident and how you can touch the line.
Guys, when I talk about being ridiculously athletic, people pay attention to the 40 too much. I'm telling you right now, running a 6.5 freaking 3-cone, crazy athletic. What I will say is that I think that he leaves a lot to be desired in the tools of the trade of being a pass rusher. But although he needs to work more on his refinement as a pass rusher, hand placement, how to use, certain, moves to basically get himself free, I will say that he's an inside-outside guy. He can play over the 3 technique. They even bounced him on a handful of snaps in as a 0 or 1 technique. Like, he can play outside as a 5. You can line him up in the wide 9. You can put him in a 7 tech. He's got versatility, guys. I like Kwity Paye a lot. Kwity Paye would be on my board as a defensive player. He would be my 8th guy. 9th guy I want to talk about, Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips is a ridiculously athletic guy. And look, I know Jalen Phillips has a lot of injury questions. He's very similar to a Caleb Farley, even more so maybe scary than a Caleb Farley in terms of the injury stuff. He got hit by, I don't know if it was a car or a scooter. He got hit by something with wheels, all right? Let's just say he got hit by something with wheels. And it caused him to be concussed, okay? Big, strong dude. He recovered from it. But then he ends up coming back, and this all happened when he was at UCLA, and he got a concussion in the game, and I think that at that point he just made a decision he was just going to shut it down. He was just kind of done with football. But then he ended up coming back, guys. He came back, transferred out to Miami, and boy, he had one impressive 2020 season, guys. The reason people are high on Jalen Phillips has to do with the last 7 games of the year. In the last 7 games of the 2020 season, guys, he had 36 pressures and 9 sacks. 36 pressures and 9 sacks, 7 games. Dude went off to finish the season. I like Jalen Phillips a lot. There are a lot of questions about the medicals there. He has to clear those hurdles. But I'm going to be honest with you, like if he clears the medical hurdles, I have no doubt about this guy's skill set. Last player I'm going to bring up, guys, for all you Penn State fans that keep hitting me up. What about this guy? Why didn't you do this on this one, Gate? All right. Jason Owe. I don't know how you say his name, guys. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names. The 2 comps I get, NFL comps I always hear about Owe are this. Montez Sweat and Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter because of the lack of production in college. So Owe didn't have a single sack last year, guys. He had 5 as a situational pass rusher the season prior, but none this year as a starter in 2020. So they always point to Danielle Hunter having all the physical traits, all the athletic traits you want, but he just didn't have the college production. And they say that Owe could be a Danielle Hunter. Or they talk about if they're just talking solely off the athletic traits. They talk about Montez Sweat, and they say he's a Montez Sweat. Look, I don't know if they should really be considering Owe at the 12th pick. I think he's definitely a lot unknown here. But, I mean, you know, if you judge a guy to say that the only thing this kid's lacking is refinement and a little good coaching, and he's got all the physical traits that you can't teach. You can't teach the physical traits. They're either there or they're not. Then I think you have to consider it, guys. I mean, I don't know. These are my 10 guys. I want to know, did I leave a player off the list that you wanted on the list? Hit me up, guys. We're talking about it the 12th pick. I gave you 10 guys, my 10 defensive players, if you will, kind of draft board here. Obviously, they're not going to go with 10 defensive players, honestly, on the draft board. I highly doubt that, guys. But I'm just giving you an expansive list. I want to know, did I leave somebody off for y'all? Who did you guys want me to talk about? And I didn't talk about them at the 12th pick. Just keep in mind, we're talking about the value we're talking about. I can give a little bit, 8 to 10 picks off, 20 to 22 range. I can slide, guys. We're talking about guys that are like slotted to be in the 2nd round. Obviously, we're not going to talk about them at pick 12. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. Comments in the, leave your comments down below, guys. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Link is in the description below. Don't forget to like and comment on the video, guys. That's what tells the algorithm to suggest this to other people. Last but not least, guys, don't forget to hit that subscription button. If you're not subscribed, I'd love to add you to the community, guys. All right, y'all. I'm losing my voice. It's time to go. I'll see you guys on the next video.